Good morning. Look at this. Hello, hello. Well, you guys are great. Look at that. You guys were like sitting on the edge of your seats waiting for this to go live. I like that. So, good morning. Welcome to Mid Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. Thank you so much for being here. And golly, look at you guys pouring in. It's either you really are looking forward to the show or you just have nothing better to do and just, kind of sipping away at your coffees and teas and things. Good morning. Let's see. We got Dennis, Rodney, Carolyn, Carmen, Carrie, Tanya, Margaret, Nicole. Oh my gosh. Good to see you all. um, I will apologize ahead of time. I'm going to do my best to bring the energy, which here, I'll move wrong side here. I'm going to try to bring, I got to cover the wrong side. Yeah. Bring the energy. Hey Rhonda, good morning. Yeah, I'm definitely lacking a little bit of energy. So I'm going to really do my best, but that's what I'm good at as far as uh pushing through and it's not like I'm going to, do this with a sad face or something like that. But yeah, I'm tired, um I've the whole work thing, is just now that and I talked about this last weekend real quick. Good morning, Sharon. And it's finally really getting on me and it's beating me up. And so getting up earlier and so which is a lot less sleep and it's tough. So we're going to try a few things differently this week and see if that helps me out to where I'm not so exhausted. Because, and I do have my cheat sheets all over the place, because it kind of matters. And like I said, I'm going to kind of rock right into some things real quickly. But, if you guys saw last night, I decided I'm going to try to, instead of, going and updating the actual post. Hi, good morning, Melody. I'm going to start. I think what I'll do is I'll just do it like, do some reminder posts the day before and things. And then I'll put like, what possible things I'm going to be chatting about. So Friday nights, if you guys are catching the when I post something, I'm going to try to put what's going to be going on Saturday, because a lot of times I wait to the week, evolve. Sometimes I know things early on that might be a good thing or something I've seen, which is, kind of some of the topics that I'm going to bring up today. But that's the cool thing is we all kind of go through life and things just appear and happen, at the right time. So I think that's going to be awesome that I'm going to be able to share some of that with you guys. I'm just kind of clearing out a few of my screens here. Um, so that's part of it. So the idea of being, tired as I was, that's going to affect some things moving forward, until at least I figure it out. Now, after this week, if we do a couple changes here at home and I can get a little bit more sleep, then maybe I'll change it. But at this point in time, I mentioned in my post last night, a revised schedule for when, booking readings with me and things. I was trying to do it to where, I could do that during the week, any type of thing. And, as I've always said in the past, I mean, I really want to be, as close to 100% as possible. And if I'm just kind of dragging and I don't want to chance it. I don't want to sit there and if I, like I said, I've always said this, I don't want to give you guys anything less than, than what you deserve. I mean, you're spending the time to hang out with me. And so I don't want to do anything less. I don't want to have to sit there and say, I just don't have it, let's find another time. And then that's not fair. And, and that's me being a little hard on myself, but that's also taking care of myself at the time. So, I'm weighing that in just to, be that kind of thing. So, I mean, I do want to take care of myself and I want to make sure that I'm always, good to go. Cause like I said, I want to do my best for you, especially if you're going to sit down with me and we're going to do some reading or healings or, whatever the case may be. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save things for weekends. Now, of course, various weekends I'm booked up, whether it's personal or I'm out and about, type of thing where I'm going to events or things like that. So, keep in mind, until I either get my sleep thing figured out or, the schedule is good. We'll try to find a Saturday or Sunday that'll work out best for both of us. And I understand, that it could be could be weeks, and I apologize for that. But at the same time, like I said, it all works. It's all this circle. So it all matters for us all. And, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And I think that's how we're going to play this out moving forward for at least a little while until other things change. But I just want to mention that so that way you guys are not questioning or, like, why isn't, this happening sooner or something like that. You kind of have an idea that, I still gotta bring home, the money. I still have to have a normal day job, and I gotta too many responsibilities that I have to take care of, and I gotta make sure that my responsibilities are all set. And most of you understand that because some of you are in similar situations, So, so I appreciate your patience and your understanding for that. And like I said, well, it'll all work out for the best. You know what I mean? Um, Good. And see, things are moving around. Uh, there, and like I said, I had a couple things, and I always tell you guys too. If there's ever some questions or something like that, go ahead and fire them up, and you can always hit me up before the show, personally. So if you don't feel comfortable writing it in the chat room, you know, if I'm in the middle of something, I'll do my best to kind of like pause it. But if I'm like really I'm going to be kind of mean. I'm gonna, hey, Jeff, good to see you, buddy. Oh God. Hey, Carrie. So I'll be a little mean to where, like, if I'm right in the middle of a thought, because you know, I think we all have squirrel moments where we kind of, and I've done it plenty of times, but I'll finish what I'm talking about, but then I will go back to a question or things like that. So I never feel like, I'm gonna avoid it, or unless I've already answered it, I might just I've already, done that or something like that. Cause I know some people pop in and, want a reading, and it's like, well, these morning shows are not for readings, these are meant to just sit here and talk, hence, mid-morning medium chat. That's the point. So that'll always be the case. The only thing I would ever do is I would do a group, message or, thing where it kind of revolves around everybody. Hey, good morning, Jennifer. And it'll be sort of like that. Like, maybe I'll pull a rune and that room is really for everybody. Hi, Dinah. Good morning. So, so that would be the most I would lean towards, but this morning shows, unless I feel like I'm good to go for something like that. But then again, several cups of coffee in, then I'll do pretty good, right? So, but yeah, the week's been, like I said, it was kind of rough, was the whole sleep thing, and there's there's another situation I'm dealing with. Luckily, it's not work. The sleep thing is work related, but I got another situation that popped up the last couple of days, and yeah, it's just I can't, I could share it. I don't feel like sharing it just yet. I'll feel better when some more new information comes out, which will be great. But that's another thing that's kind of like possibly even creating, the last couple nights, why it's been, creating some sleep issues on top of already being tired from waking up early. So I'm kind of beating myself up, at night. I just can't catch a break. But that's the point. I'm going to share what I can and just know that, what do I do? You guys know I'm going to keep fighting through it, as best I can. And I will try to put a smile on my face, just like I am this morning. I mean, it can be rough. It is. And we're all going through it. And, and it even seemed like just a generalized thing is that this week has been kind of, it hasn't been a really like explosive energy and things. I've, maybe it's because that's what's been affecting me. It's just there's all other things, and being empathic, being sensitive, you absorb a lot of these energies, and some of them are good, some of them are bad. And, the bad ones aren't like real bad. It's just, things that are just going to slow you down. They're going to do things that, it's not going to, perk you up and things. And it's just sort of, you have to roll through it and work with your guides and cleansing and stuff like that. Yeah, there you go, Tanya. That's awesome. I mean, it's like I said, it's just been weird. It has been a weird week, and I appreciate people saying, commenting, what you thought your week entailed. I mean, whether it was this or was that. Yeah, see, Rodney, that's another one. It's like you had to fight through the whole week. I know, like I said, it was a weird week. It really was. And good morning, Tiffany, and uh, my good my good friend Jen. Uh, she said she saw some things from like the solar flare aspect and stuff that was kind of crazy. I think in the beginning or like middle of the week, and things that were really off the charts, and so that affects a lot of things as well. And she's really good at that. I'll have to have Jen come back on and we can talk about that one time, because like she's amazing at that. And I get it, but she's going to know way more about that stuff than me. So I'll have to bring Jen back on at some point. Let's see, Margaret, what you got? Almost like waiting for the other shoe to fall. There you go. It's great. I love this, but you know, that's what we got to do. We all got to just kind of bend together, and we'll get through it. You just get to fight through it. There it is. I knew she would write it for me. The human resonance spiked twice and it was exhausting. See, that's it. That's another thing that I knew. It's crazy. And if you guys don't know about it, like I said, I'll have Jen come back on one time and we can go into that, 'cause that's a fascinating thing. But even then, if you guys just copy that and look it up for yourselves, you can do some like quick reads on it and get an idea of it. But it's really interesting. Like I said, I mean, I love learning it. Not that I'm going to probably retain a ton of it, but at least I'll acknowledge it. So um, so that's kind of cute. So yeah. So hopefully, we'll get out of this week. We'll kind of get into next week and things will be a little bit different. I know if you guys notice my background and stuff like that is kind of interesting for us, in Michigan and Ohio. you know, uh it's fun as and I'm not going to go long on this because I know you guys have heard me talk about it way too much, but um I saw another good friend of mine post a rain comment this morning, and uh, I had to laugh because it was basically in a negative way, and I get it. And the thing is I knew when he posted about it, I understand he had some things that he had to do outside that he had no choice. So by being outside, he was going to get wet, but that's the fun part about it, is that he just saw the negative side to it and didn't turn it, you know what I mean, make it interesting, make it fun, you know open yourself up to something else. You put that negative vibe that just kind of sets your day off. And like I told you guys a million times, don't let the rain bring you down. Just because it's raining is not a depressing thought. you know and so you hey Ron, good morning, sir. And so that's why I put the rain up, because we've been dealing with it for several days. And whenever it dries out enough to where I can get back out and cut the grass, it's going to be cutting down the forest, because or the fields, because my lawn's getting out of control, and I haven't been able to, because when I've had a chance, it's been pouring rain or it's been over 90 degrees, and I'm not going to do that in the blazing sun. I'm just going to wait for a better day. So yes, yes, Kelly, free water for the, and that's the small thing of it. Like I said, you guys, you can go back several shows and hear me talk about the rain and things, but we know the real properties of what rain is all about, but there's things that are in a spiritual level that do the same thing. And like I said, there's some other things that are going on with me this week. And what did I do? I got up at 5, and which I didn't want to, but I got up at 5, and so the light was just happening, so it was still a little bit dark, but you can still see everything, and it was light rain, nothing major. And what did I do? Go right out in the rain and kind of stood there, and I did my morning prayers out in the rain, and then did some extra cleansing while I was out in the rain. And it definitely perked me back up. I felt a lot better. And that's the thing, is you make it work for you. You don't sit there and twist it, you know what I mean? And I've said this many times. So don't get mad, don't get angry, don't pick on the rain. It has tons of good stuff about it. So thanks, Rodney. So cool. So we talked about that. Like I said, I'm looking over at my other monitor for my notes. I wanted to get into, because this came up just a couple days ago, and there's a good chance she might pop in. I don't know if she's in already, but if it isn't, this is going to kind of pertain, because it was a good thing that she brought it up, and I thought it would be kind of fun to talk about a little bit more. Plus, give everybody else something to think about, and maybe well, maybe you should use it then. But I said, personal protection from energy vampires and ghosts. And because a lot of the techniques are still the same. And that's the reason why I put it like that. There you go, Carolyn. We can do that. I could write a song like that on the flute. You know what I mean? I'll put that energy into it. Don't pick on the rain. um, that's awesome, Jeff. That's awesome. So yeah, maybe not so strangely, but some of the best bike rides he ever has been caught in the rain. Just feels good and refreshing to be out there. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like I said, you just got to turn it around. You got to turn it. We got to break what we grew up knowing about rain, and that it ruins your day and it's all this stuff, and it's just the way it is. Yeah, let's see. Unfortunately for Jen saying, unfortunately for here in the Southwest Michigan, the rain caused a huge surge of mosquitoes. We now have 2 years worth of melons. Well, I guess the bug spray, and I'll leave it as that. For whatever type you guys want to use, just went up. Stock went up in those bug sprays. So yeah, citronella candles. Get all that stuff firing out in your in your yards. So, all right, cool. Thanks, Margaret. And yeah. So, like I said, we've all have some of us that do paranormal stuff and then others that don't because it's just not their thing, but you're sometimes around people that just suck the living life out of you, and you never understand it because, you see their anger, you see their stress and stuff like that. And they sit there and come to you and they vent so much that, you just start absorbing that. It's much like, you know, you're trying to kind of keep a wall up type of thing. And the problem is the more and more they dump things on you, it just kind of breaks you down. And it sucks. I mean, it's the best word I can think of. I mean, it truly sucks. And, it's one of those things that I think everybody's had to have dealt with at some point. There you go, Ron. But hey, if the fog system works, it works. I mean, sometimes campfires that are a little smoky help out too. Um, there's a lot of natural remedies as well to help battle the mosquitoes and things. But yeah, so you know, and even then, like I said, so that's why I kind of wanted to bring them both in because it's something that you have to work at. It's not something you can. It's just you're gonna practice today and then it's just going to work tomorrow. This is something that you're going to have to it's going to happen all the time where when you're put in those situations. Oh, that's really cool, right? Last 4 to 6 weeks before I have to spray again. That's awesome, man. That is awesome. The Sometimes, when you're around people, and it could be family members, it also could be coworkers, and you can tell, especially if you're in a bigger office, and there's a good chance you're going to get somebody in there that's complaining all the time, whether it's about work, their job, or about things going on in their personal lives. And you get to the point where it's like you really just want to tell them to shut the hell up. Because it's horrible. And but you can't, because you're trying to be respectful and things, and you don't want to sit there and cause any more issues and things like that because you're at work and stuff. So there you go, Rodney. Bert called TC. um the you do the best you can with it, but so here's some things that you guys can work on. So one, there's multiple ways, and even then some people that are watching have their own techniques and stuff, and so I'm going to give you just a couple of them, just to kind of get you started, because like I said, it's something you're going to have to work at all the time. And I think a lot, when you are in situations now, like I said, could be family members, it could be coworkers, it could just be out in public, you know what I mean? And to I think we've all seen enough videos and things, especially in recent years. It seems like you go somewhere, in a store, and then you just got somebody that's so upset, and you, not that you understand what the situation is, which is part of it. Hey, good morning, Cindy. And you're sitting there, you're hearing it, you're feeling it, and it gets to the point where it's changing the way you are. Meaning, so like, let's say, they're angry. Well, you're you might be taking on that anger. Not that you're going to get it in that situation. And even then, some people do that too, where they're, for maybe they're talking about something specific, and in your, a lot, you agree with them. So like, then you then start jumping in and acting out and stuff. And that's not normally you, but you let their, stuff enter you, and then it got you hyped up, and then you got involved, and then there's just this big kind of stuff. Whereas we, and that's just anger. I mean, again, it could be a lot of different things, but you you have to sort of take a step back from those I mean, that's the first thing I would do, is take a step back. Not, it doesn't have to be physically, but take a step back, take a couple deep breaths, and ask yourself, I mean, what's really going on? To do I need to be a part of this? Do I need to is any of this matter to me, in the sense that, do I need to take it in? And I'm saying taking it in, we're talking like spiritually and things, energetically wise, you know, because if you accept it, okay, well, now you're going to have those, you're going to have to be responsible for yourself. So if you're going to take it in, then you have to be ready for whatever the outcome is. Now, it's one thing to have a friend talk about something, they're upset about something, and you're there to listen. You kind of keep your ears open. All along, you have to know that what they're talking about, dealing with, and sharing with you, you have to know that that's their situation, that's not yours. And this is a part of where you have to understand what's going on. Not that you have to know the details, but when you listen, you still have to know that it's their thing. You're there to listen to them, to help them release it, but not to the point where you're taking it in. Because you can listen, and what happens is if you get too involved, not that you're not being a good friend if you're listening to what they're talking about, because there is a difference. If I talk to somebody, and I'm, talking about this and that, there's a way that I do it to where I don't feel like I'm dumping my life on them. You know what I mean? And if I do, then I catch myself usually and be like, oops, I think I went too far. I think I might have dumped a little too much, or, um, push the envelope. And that's hard to do too, is when you're in the situation and you're doing it back, then, you have to kind of like, woohoo, time out there. And I've done that, where I've literally have stopped conversations cold. I'm like, I'm done, because I realized I went too far, and I could almost tell that I'm making them change, not on purpose. It's just kind of a part of the situation, part of the evolution of the whole thing. But it's, it sucks, to where, you don't want to be the person doing that. But at the same time, you want that, they're there to listen. And that's what I do, is I'd love to listen to anybody that got issues and whatever. I'm there to listen to it. But I also know that, what their situation is what they're dealing with. I can help give them some, tips and things about that situation to maybe think about, and maybe if they feel comfortable, they'll do it, because again, that's on them. Now, if their situation, I can't take that on, so that way I'm not going to, affect the rest of my day or days, you know. Yes, there you go, Matt. Yeah, take a break. Take a break from the uglier side of the cesspool called social media. Yeah, that, yeah, social media will do it to you. It's why sometimes, you, you can't. Social media is a good one. I think that's a perfect example. I appreciate that, Matt. But yeah, we all have been in those moments where we there's something that has angered us. You know what I mean? Whether you had a friend that you didn't realize they thought that way, and I'm not getting into, specifics, but you thought, how could they believe in this? And it's like that, then now you've done it. You've created this, you've taken on things, and you can't do that, and so, hence why there's a lot of topics that I will not discuss in public. There's just not going to happen. I'll listen to people complain about certain topics. I think you guys pretty much know what those are, but it ain't going to be me. Certain things is private, and some of those big ones are meant for that, to be private. I'm not going to sit there and get into any type of situation. Hey, good morning, Dana. And so So that's the thing is, and I'm saying that's the, for, the energy vampire see, because like for them and, investigations and things. So you're getting those moments where, yeah, they're pushing on you, and energy vampires are there to steal your energy. They feel like crap. So what they're doing is they're dumping enough on you. All right, Sharon, have a great day. And then you in turn take that and they suck that good stuff and then they take it and move on about their day while you feel like crap the rest of the day. Then they feel great because they achieved what they wanted. And most energy vampires don't know they are one. Let's see, Carrie. Let's see. Go put it up. I hear your blind. I see your. I understand. And it's not my pie, so I'm giving it back to you. That's it. That's a great way to look at it, Carrie. That is so true. That is absolutely true. Um, yeah, and it's weird because like I said, any one of you can come up and hit me with stuff up. You know what I mean? And I truly am going to be there. I'm going to listen to it all. You know what I mean? And I will, give some advice, or I'm just going to just let you talk about it. But at the end of the day, you know, that's not mine to keep. It's not mine to figure out. You know what I mean? Like I said, figure out how I, figure out how I'm going to, deal with it then it's still something you're a part of, but that's the thing is sometimes, we just need to share things and get things off our chest. We know that that's what helps us out. And, like I said, there's certain ways to do that. And so just always know that, it's okay. Just make sure you're not, you know, like I said, most people don't know they're energy vampire because, you know, it's so built into their system that they just have no idea. And I know several of them, and I've had so much practice with them. It's almost comical after a while because, and it's the best part is the more you defend it, and I'm saying defending, because I'm keeping that distance, I'm keeping that wall up, and I'm not taking on their stuff. It by the time the conversation's over with, it's hilarious to see how disappointed they still are because they didn't get what they really wanted, what their internal system needed. They didn't get the good positive energy from me. They're still they're still foaming at the mouth, they're still fuming, they're still, whatever. And as soon as that, the person or persons are gone, I'm sitting there chuckling because here it is, I completely did what you're supposed to do. You let them keep what they are dealing with, they have to figure it out. All of us can help each other, but you got to remember, you still have to do the work. So you just coming up and just dumping everything and then trying to steal my energy out of me, and then I feel like crap, then the rest of the day. And that, like I said, that's happened plenty of times when I was still learning about how to do this stuff. So it is time consuming, is a lot of work. And so, you have to put the time in. And like I said, it's tough. It really is tough at first because you're going to try it. You'll keep that wall up. Hey, your stuff is yours, but I'm here to listen to it. But that's as far as it goes. The problem is then they'll say something, and then it'll start breaking you down. And then the next thing you know, at the end of the conversation, you feel like horrible mess, and they're smiling and walking away. And here it is. Now you're stuck for the rest of the day, until you get a good night's sleep and then wake up the next day and start over. So it's rough, but at the same time, again, with the, some of those that do the investigation side, you're dealing with spirits. A lot of times they're cranky spirits, they're not demonic and uh, pretty much all the time. But even then, some of these that are cranky, they are out to do things. It's the same thing for the investigators. We have to sort of keep that wall up. I mean, it's, you're trying to get information, you're trying to prove things, you're trying to have all the stuff to share with others. And especially if you're working with a client or things, or you're at a famous historical site and you're, maybe confirming the things that are there that, have been talked about for a long time. You still have to have some sort of wall up, even on investigations. And because if you don't, it's going to bother you. You know what I mean? And it can happen in various forms. I mean, a lot of us that do mediumship things, we've had our fair share of all this and that and things. And so you have to really try. You have to try to always know that you're there for the information. And then you need to figure out what you can take from it, but at the same time not absorb. Because see, now with the paranormal investigating side, it's all energy stuff. That's all this is. See, there's nothing like physical where you can sit in front of somebody and have a conversation, to where then there's a physical thing you're seeing and do it, talking to, and then and with the energy there as well. And the ghost investigating stuff, now that's just something completely unseen. And so that's a whole nother ball game in a way. So that one you do have to kind of be a little bit more careful. You have to believe in what you've done. You have to believe in the protection that you set for yourself, however that is. If there's things that you need to wear, if there's things that you need to call upon, if there's rituals and things. I mean, everybody's got a little different taste to things, but however it is for you, you then have to always know in the back of your head that you're it's always there, it's always protecting you, and you're strong about it, and you don't you just don't let ghosts bother you. But then again, we've most of us have been through situations. I've been through them, but you learn from it and you realize what you did wrong, that they broke you down. And when they break you down, it's a big learning. And so like I said, I've had a couple good ones where I know if this happens again, I'm ready. But you know, but that's the cool thing is I have been in a lot of investigations that I came in there with the confidence, knowing and what I stand for, my beliefs, and everything that is there to protect me, and that has done phenomenal. Because again, I believe in it. I thank it everything every day, and appreciate the support that I get that way. And that's the other thing, is just making sure you have that. So hi Debbie, good morning. So, uh, so that's kind of how that, like I said, that's, it's a topic. It's a conversation that could really go on for a long time, because then we could go through like exercise and things like that. But those are going to be for, some, classes down the road. You know what I'm saying? But, um, so that's going to be kind of fun. So that'll be things that, we'll hit on when the time's appropriate. I do. Let's see. I got one more thing to talk about, and then I have an extra thing that I did not write about because I found it this morning, which I'll get to. But close to the end of the show, I'm going to save it. Let's just go into the next part, and um, and then we'll. There's one thing I want to read something for you guys. There's something I found I thought was really really great, and I can't wait to share it with you. So let's go to the next part. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, because this kind of goes hand in hand a little bit with what with the whole thing of personal protection and things, uh obtaining energy from nature. Now, I already just talked about that, the rain, you can, cleanse yourself of things that are, of negative energies, and just things that don't belong to you, spiritual gunk and stuff that just kind of pulls on you, drags you down, and things. Rain again is a perfect way to cleanse that off of you when you open yourself up and you ask for it to happen, as far as removing all of that. Just like you would in the shower. You get in the shower, you get wet, you soap up, you get all that, and you basically wash the dirt off of you. It's no different from a spiritual way. You're just doing it mentally versus physically. But the cool thing is that rain, when it's hitting you, it it it's supposed to make you relate to the fact that you're in the shower and you're cleaning yourself. So the idea is you're kind of using both a physical and a mental standpoint, whereas rain, is more or less there. Just, you almost don't feel it when you're outside, even in a heavy downpour. When you're cleansing stuff off of you, you almost don't even know it there. And I've been outside in some pretty good downpours cleansing, and you just kind of like, it's a blur. You really don't see it or feel it as much. It's not until you get back inside to where then you realize, oh, I guess I got a little wet out there. Oh well, and that's how I look at it. But but You guys know that I'm big into nature stuff, and have done more of the shamanic style, especially more modern. Because I wouldn't be doing shows if I was a true shaman. Uh, but the the point of like going outside, to like I've always said, go outside, stick your head out a window, and take a couple deep breaths and just kind of give thanks. Even if you don't have any beliefs or anything you want to call to, it's okay. But just go out there to you know take a couple deep breaths and just kind of be open. Don't think about anything else that's going on today or anybody specifically and stuff, but just go out there and just do that. That's just as simple as it gets. It's just going out there. Excuse me. The other thing is that we've talked about before, is, going outside, especially this time of year. It's warm enough that you guys can go out barefoot. That's a form of grounding. Like I said, we've talked about that, but that's another perfect way. If you can be out there for at least 15 minutes, on the ground, preferably in some type of dirt or grass, you know what I mean? Being up on a deck or patio where you kind of have sort of that barrier between things, it still works. It's still connected, but just getting yourself into, the dirt or the grass, the lawn, it just gets a little bit better connection, in my opinion. Not that the others don't, because I've spent some time on just the deck and things, but um, it's still, if you get out there and you walk on the grass, you can just feel the difference between like again, piece of cement or, wood. And even though the wood came from nature, but obviously, a deck could have been built for years. So, but that's just another way. And again, it's the same sort of thought. So, I mean, now if you go outside and you get right out into the lawn, the grass, and, you take a couple deep breaths as you're standing there barefoot, well, now you're kind of hitting a lot of things at once. So that's kind of cool. Then we could go even more. Go, most people, unless most people have some sort of tree nearby, whether it's in your yard or, maybe it's, if you're in an apartment complex, there's going to be a tree somewhere nearby. Go up to a tree, preferably I like to find ones that got a little bit more age to them. And, because they've been around a lot longer. And just like how Native Americans used to do is the elders were heavily revered. They were the ones that know things. They're the ones that have been around long enough to understand how things work. And so I do that with trees is if I can. Is really no true reason, but a lot of times I have a small little mini park, just literally, maybe 50 yards away, 75 yards away. And there's a couple big old oaks. I mean, they're so old that you can't actually put your arms around it. The trunk is so huge that you literally you're not even close to getting your hands all the way around it. Oaks are amazing for many different reasons, but oaks are fantastic because they're hardy. And if you can go up to an oak tree and give one of those a hug or just put your hand on the bark, the trunk, whoo, once again, take a couple deep breaths, close your eyes if you need to, or, I would recommend it too, but close your eyes and just, even ask a simple question, you know, Mr. Oak, however you want to say it. Um, you know, give me, I could use a little positive energy, just real something simple. And see if your hand feels different. You know what I mean? Believe in what you're saying, believe in what you're asking, but just touch that tree or hug that tree. Put your face against the thing. Make as much skin contact as you can and see what happens. You might be surprised. Even for those that aren't quite sure how it all works, but you still might feel something. Might be real small, might be minor, but just see. But again, believe it. Make it real. You know what I mean? Hold on to that tree or touch that tree and just, hey, I'm just looking for, some positive energy. Just like I said, something simple. And you'll watch. And even if you don't feel it instantly, maybe by the time you walk away, or maybe, you're at a park and then you're driving home, or maybe once you get home, you might notice that you maybe got a little extra pep in your step, or maybe you feel a little bit more relaxed. You know, Sometimes it's instant, sometimes it takes a little bit for your body to adjust to it because you've asked for it and nature is going to give it to you. You know what I mean? Because you were nice, you asked, and nature is going to work with you on it. You know what I mean? And if you're gonna just kind of play with it and be like, well, I'm gonna try. Remember my bad word saying try. Don't say try. You know, it's just not gonna, you're not gonna get much. You might not get anything at all if you're just gonna try it, want it, need it. Okay. And I'm telling you, it'll do that. Now, if you don't want to sit there and touch a tree, you can certainly go up to plants. You know what I mean? There's a lot of plants, again, maybe around your yard, uh, maybe at the parks, you know what I mean? You can go up to plants. You can grab a leaf and do the exact same thing. Hold the leaf, don't tear it off, don't destroy the leaf, but just grab it. Maybe like, if it's a leaf, put your hands between it and just hold it. And again, doing the same sort of thing, asking for, just a little bit of positive energy and see what happens. You know what I mean? It's amazing. I'm telling you, you go after it, you're going to be surprised. Let's see, Jeff. Oaks are interesting. Some of the trails I maintain are so huge that you've been standing since before the country was founded. You can feel the history they've witnessed Native Americans walking by, camping, enjoying the shade. Very cool if you can pick up on one. Yeah, that is great, Jeff. And it's neat is when you do put yourself in those situations where you can get out there and get around them, you know what I mean, and be amongst them. Uh, and again, for those that may have trouble identifying, I mean, I'm not I don't memorize all the trees, but oak trees are pretty easy because they have a distinctive Hey, Eric, how you doing, buddy? Good morning. There's a good friend of mine, Eric, right there. Here, I'm gonna put him up there real quick. Eric's a good guy, awesome dude, veteran, survival expert. I love that guy. He's also been an inspiration to me. I've talked about him in the past. He's done a lot for me. But interesting enough, we were, the whole thing with trees. And Eric's pretty good at that because he lives in the same state as me, and he's got a park that's not too far from his house that he loves going on trails. And I watch his videos whenever he's putting them up there, and he gets to go through and he's talking about the certain plants and the certain trees and things like that, what they're good for and stuff. And I love that. I love when he posts those. So, Eric, you need to get back at it, even though you've been busy. You've been real busy with family and stuff. So that's okay. Yeah. You get a pass on that one. You've been to some good places recently, but yeah, but for those that haven't, that don't know an oak, it's got a very distinct pattern. But the easiest thing is to see the acorns. Usually, you'll find that at the base of an oak tree. You can't miss it. I mean, even if you don't know the leaf, even though it's I can't even motion for it, but it's not the common leaf that you're used to. I mean, it's more, I can't even do it. I can't do it, but you can look it up. If you look up an oak leaf, you'll know. But again, easiest thing is just look for the acorns. Look for acorns at the bottom of an oak tree, and then you'll know if you found one. Some people too, even memorize the bark and so say that certain bark you can tell what it is without looking at the leaves because like in the winter, how do you know? But there's some people that have seen the differences on just the bark. So, but again, it's kind of cool. But like I said, oak is really, really cool. And I get to, if you get up on one and hug one, oh my gosh. I mean, one time I remember I was at a different park in town, a lot more trees, a lot more stuff. It's also near a river. Went down there and it was, I think it was late fall or early spring. So things weren't really blooming yet. And you know what? I think it might have been winter. It was winter. So there was a little bit of snow on the ground and stuff like that. Not a lot. But I took my daughter at the time. I don't remember how old she was, but I think she was still single digits. And it was just her and I, because we were sledding. That's what I think it was. We were sledding in a small little bunny hill. And then I said, well, let's put the sled away. Let's just go walk around. Let's walk up some of the trails and things and just kind of be a part of nature at that point, And sure enough, we came across some oaks and I could just tell. I went up to the oak and I'm like, and so I'm hugging the oak and she's kind of looking at me and I'm like, well, come over here. I said, come over and give it a hug. it could, and I made it into a little bit of a lesson. I just said, well, give the tree a hug. It's sitting out here, he's got his friends, and family around, but he could also use some love from you. I mean, give it a hug. Tell him that you love him and stuff. And so it was really cute to watch that, because then she's sitting there, small little little girl hugging a big oak tree, that was just massive, so I've been around a long time, definitely 100 some years old, and it was just so cool. But it was also touching for me, because it's like, that's, some of the things you're hoping to pass off is to appreciate nature for what it is, and still be able to go out there. And again, we can, as much as we want to, have nature help us, provide to us, it's kind of nice to give some, gratitude back. And so, like I said, giving that oak, some hugs, and telling it, thank you for, doing what you do, and being here, and we'll get through this winter. You know what I mean? And so it was cool. But that's the fun part, is you really can have a good time with that. And really, there's so many things you can touch and grab, and ask, permission from that, plant and things, even rocks. I mean, you can do that with rocks as well. Go up to a rock and put your hand on a rock, and same thing, they've been around really a long time, and they can do the same thing. They can provide you with some energy and strength and stuff, and really help you out. You know what I mean? So that's always so cool. Um, so definitely do that. Like I said, we're at a perfect time of year, because I know some people don't like to go out during the winter, because the cold and things, and I get it. I mean, like I said, sometimes you still gotta do these things. You can't always let something like weather, hence behind me, not affect you. but uh but yeah, I can't encourage it enough. Like I said, it's not, and the things I've talked about, it's not like it's some weird thing. It's not like some, hokey thing, or this is the stuff that is built into our DNA. This is what we are. This is things that our ancestors did. This is how they lived. They lived in peace with everything, and they asked permission if it was something that they needed. Then they asked permission for it. And so if they were going to harvest a tree, because the tree was either going to build some shelter or keep them warm and stuff like that, but they appreciate it. They didn't take more than what they could use. And so these are things that is built in us. We just need to appreciate it, and we all can do this, and that's kind of fun to look at. Awesome. Let's see, we're doing pretty good. About 22, yeah, but no, 22. About 12 minutes left. That's perfect, because that can let me finish up reading this reading this thing. Is I've done it once before, where I found, a story, and I shared it, and then we kind of talked about it real quickly before the end. This one's not so much of a, well, I mean, it's not so much of a story, but it's something that I think a lot of us can relate to. I think it's got a lot of amazing messages built into it. And I thought it would be really fun to read this to all of you. I've only read it once, and normally um, I'd like to read it a bunch of times and things like that. But I thought it would be great to read this to you guys. And if you want, I could then share it, because I got this from a good friend of mine who I've been on her show before. And her name's Darlene, but I like to, say Mama D, because that's one of her other names that she goes by. But Mama D had this on her page, and I caught it this morning, where she posted it last night, and I read through it, and I was like, whoa, that's pretty heavy. And I said, that's so cool, because there's things that even I can relate to in this. And so, so yeah, let me read this to you guys, and let me see what you guys think. I'm not going to see the chat room, because I'm going to go full screen so I can see all the wording. So I'm not going to see my broadcast window. So if you make some comments, I'm not going to see it until after I minimize the screen. So let me take a quick drink, and let me read this to you guys. I think you're going to love it. Okay. The inability to receive support from others is a trauma response. Your "I don't need anyone, I'll just do it all myself" conditioning is a survival tactic, and you needed it to shield your heart from abuse, neglect, betrayal, and disappointment from those who could not or would not be there for you. From the parent who was absent and abandoned you by choice, or a parent who was never home from working 3 jobs to feed and house you. From the lovers who offered sexual intimacy but never offered a safe haven that honored your heart. From the friendships and family who always took more than they ever gave. From all the situations when someone told you, we're in this together, or I got you, then abandoned you, leaving you to pick up the pieces when the blank got real, leaving you to handle your part and their part too. From all the lies and all the betrayals, you learned along the way that you just couldn't really trust people, or that you could trust people, but only up to a certain point. Extreme independence is a trust issue. You learned, if I don't put myself in a situation where I rely on someone, I won't have to be disappointed when they don't show up for me or when they drop the ball, because they will always drop the ball eventually, right? You may even have been intentionally taught this protection strategy by generations of hurt ancestors who became before you. Extreme independence is a preemptive strike against your heartbreak. So you don't trust anybody. And you don't trust yourself either to choose people. To trust is to hope. To trust is to be vulnerable. Never again, you vow. But no matter how you dress it up and display it proudly, make it seem like that this level of independence is always wanted to be, in truth, is your wounded, scarred, broken heart behind a protective brick wall. Impenetrable. Nothing gets in. No hurt gets in, but no love gets in either. Fortresses and armor are those who are in battle or who believe the battle is coming. It's a trauma response. The good news is trauma that is acknowledged is trauma that can be healed. You are worthy of having support. You are worthy of having true partnership. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of having your heart held. You are worthy to be adored. You are worthy to be cherished. You are worthy to have someone say, you rest, I got this, and actually deliver on that promise. You are worthy to receive. You are worthy to receive. You are worthy. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to prove it. You don't have to bargain for it. You don't have to beg for it. You are worthy, worthy, simply because you exist. How was that? Heavy? It should be. It should be. You know, a lot of us have been through those kind of moments. Um, Maybe not all, but good majority of us, or you've known people that have dealt with things like that. And it's kind of an eye opener. You know what I mean? That it is it's so great. It was so great to see that, and I think it kind of timed out because even then, a couple little things I talked about, it mentioned, in that story. Yep, like looking in the mirror. Hi, Valerie. Yep, reassuring, reaffirming. Oh my god, Rachel got chills. Yeah, it's like I said, you know, it's heavy, and it definitely makes you think about things. You know what I mean? Like I said, we've all been through something, and sometimes all that applies. So many different situations and stuff, and um, but that's the thing is, we're all here. We're all here for something. We're all here to help somebody. We're all here to um, do what we can. You know what I mean? This isn't just some random thing. We have so many things going on, not only in this part of life, but those but leading up to it and those and that after it. There's so many things, and it goes super deep. And some people don't believe in all that other stuff, that they don't believe in afterlife and stuff. But there is just so many things that are becoming a little bit more apparent, and more evidence to kind of prove it, that it just shows you that you know everything's happening for a reason. And so we have to make the best out of it right now. And I think that's the thing that we all need to remember, and make sure that you know, you can't, if you, I do it as often as I can. I try to go out of my way to check in with people. I mean, we all have lives, you know what I mean? So it's not a bad thing if you don't talk to somebody for a couple months, It's it's just the point of you checking up on somebody, you know what I mean? And you never know. You might hit them up at the right point in time where they need to talk to somebody because they didn't know who to turn to, and then you popped up in a message or you called them or whatever, and then they can, oh my gosh, it's so good. I'm glad that you hit me up. I got these things going on. Maybe you can help me out or something like that. And you know, it's funny how those things on then all work. And so, you know, do what you can do. You know what I mean? So if you can help somebody out or you can tell somebody is struggling. I mean, how many times have we've looked on Facebook and we've seen somebody, kind of not doing so well? How many of you have, you might, put an emoji, or you might have said, hey, you'll get through this. But is that all you did? Did you not try to then message them privately and be like, hey, I saw what you did, and did you try to put a little bit more effort into it, show that that you are their friend, and give them some confidence, give them some love in a way to help them get through whatever it is, you know what I mean? So, you know, think about that for this weekend. If you see some posts and people are maybe struggling, hit them up. Don't always do it publicly, do it privately then. Check in on them, and maybe in another day or a couple days, do it again. Hey, how you doing? It's been a couple days. You still feeling rough, or is there anything I can do? What again? Just you know, it's the small things that make the most. And I tell you, it's so weird. I've so many times I'll hit somebody's name will pop up, and that's usually my guides, kind of giving me a tap, like, hey, you know what, you check in on that person. We're not going to tell you what it is, but just check up on them. And then half the time I'm like, hey, my guides are telling me to say hi, or check on you. What, you okay right now? And they're like, well, as soon as I see the well, I'm like, oh boy, this was so. And that's the thing, is I'm letting, my guides, I'm letting the universe and everything kind of come together to be that person that's going to be there for them. You know what I mean? And like I said, we all have things going on. So I know it's not easy, but at the same time, it's kind of nice to reach out to those. And obviously, if you are in a situation and you feel connected to somebody, reach out to them. Maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a best friend and stuff. Don't be afraid, because like that story, that article, said, there's a lot of times you just can't trust somebody and you don't feel like they're going to do anything for you. And that's because you've mentally put that in there, where that's not the truth. Who your friends are. The ones that truly care are the ones that are going to come back, and they're gonna, hey, you want to get something, get some food, or you want to come over, or you want to whatever, you can tell the ones that are going to be there for you are going to be trying whatever they can to make you feel better. Those are the friends and family that you want around, because if they're not and they just blow you off, you don't let it frustrate you. Just keep looking for somebody or multiple people that are willing to just be there for you. You know what I mean? Like I said, sometimes it's just going to be there just to listen, but you will know the right ones are there. And don't let it frustrate you. Please don't let it frustrate you. You know what I mean? Okay. Okay, that's cool, Debbie. I didn't it like that. We always have magical showed up each other. Oh wow. Okay. That's great. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, Deb. You got people that are willing to go out of their way, and who your friends are. They're willing to drop whatever they can. I mean, they might be in the middle of something where they can't right then, but know that they will if they so you guys know who your friends are and who you can reach out to. And I'm certainly will do my best. I have a full I have a full schedule, but I think anybody that's ever privately messaged me knows you're going to get a message back from me, whether it's pretty quick or it'll be within, it'll be the same day. And whether I can talk for a little bit or, I'll be like, well, I'm here for you. I think I'm going to have a little bit more time tomorrow. Is it okay if we talk then? You know what I mean? That's okay. I'm like I said, we all got things going on, and if there's something that we can do, most of the time I can I will find time, even if it's, for 15, 20 minutes, whether it's just a bunch of messages and things. But I'll certainly, talk to you. And like I said, it could be about anything. It doesn't have to be, you know, spiritual. It doesn't have to be paranormal. It doesn't have to be any of this stuff. It just, you just need somebody to talk to. And if you feel comfortable, that's great. You know what I mean? So that's always a good thing. So I say it is now 10:31. We are 1 minute past the hour, or the hour mark of the show. Um, so thank you. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for all those that are going to be listening and watching this back at some other points. And it means a lot to see you guys all the time. And it's so cool, to be able to do these for you on the more, on these shows. And like I said, I was pretty rough myself, but there's a lot of times that, just you guys popping in there, even if it's a couple of you, just seeing your guys' names and stuff, and, hey, how you doing? That just gives me some fuel. Like I said, I've been tired, but you notice that, you know, I've got a little bit more spark in my voice and stuff. And, you guys really help me out and give me, the energy to do what I do. So, because again, it all revolves around, you know, I'll take care of you. You guys can take care of me. We'll just work it all out. So thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Eric. Good to see you, sir. We'll see you soon, hopefully out in the woods. But yeah, all right. All right. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to let you guys have the rest of your weekend and enjoy it. Get out in the rain if it's still raining by you guys. Thank you, Debbie. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. And definitely take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Don't be afraid to reach out to somebody if you need something. And we will catch you again soon. Look for some more posts this week, and we'll be back again next Saturday. Should be pretty good. I think I'm good, in good shape. One of these Saturdays I thought was not going to work out, but it looks like they're going to be okay. So there's nothing wrong in that. I'm happy. Other than that, I will keep you guys updated on things. So again, thank you so much. You've been watching the Mid-Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium, and I will see you again very soon. And as always, all my love, light, and peace to every single one of you. Thank you.